Most runners train too much to actually get faster. If you are grinding out miles week after week, but you're not seeing any changes in your race times, it's not your lack of effort or lack of trying. It's just that none of your runs are quite important enough. You might be stuck in the kinda hard trap where each run is hard but not making you better, but every one of these runs is hard enough to keep you from getting better. In this video, I'm going to show you the 2-session rule that's going to dramatically change the way you view your week and how it helps you in 2 different ways to actually force your body to adapt. For the 2 sessions, I'm going to tell you what they are, and then I'm going to give you some specific examples of what they are or how you could implement them and adapt them to your own training. And look, I know a lot of you out there are getting 6 or 7 hours of sleep. You've got a busy social life, you have commitments to family, a lot of things pulling your attention outwards. And that's tough because if you're trying to make every workout this really big thing, every time you go out, it's not going to work for you. Each session will end up being so-so, and you don't actually get the change, the adaptations that make you go faster. And honestly, this should be kind of a relief because this means you just have to crush 2 workouts in your week and you're going to be heading in the right direction. Everything you're doing is in support of these 2 kinds of workouts. So we actually need easy miles in our week. They help build the chassis of our body. They help build the structural integrity that allows us to push. But if you build this really nice car chassis and have a dinky engine in it, it's not going to go very fast, even though it's really well put together. What we want to do is we want to dump a huge V8 engine in there and see how much we can get out of our bodies. When we're racing, we aren't going to the drag strip to have fun and just kind of piddle around. We want to see how fast we can go. So we have to build these 2 things in tandem so that we stay healthy and get strong and we get fast at the same time. So we've all heard that we need to go slow to go fast, and that zone 2 running is fantastic. And I agree with that to an extent. But if all the running you're doing is zone 2 and you're never extending into some of these more challenging workouts, you're never really going to develop that speed. So I'm going to break down the difference real quick. What do these zone 2 miles do? And what do we do with these speed workouts? And why do we actually need them? So for zone 2, we're getting structural adaptation, like we said. We're getting better at consuming oxygen. So that's like building the capillary density. It's building tissue tolerance, all of the things that come along with doing long spurts of aerobic exercise. And it also makes you increase your running economy, especially at the speed that you're running at. So task specificity says, if you want to get better at something, you have to do a lot of that. So from a big perspective, a big umbrella, running more is going to make you better at running. If we come over here to the zone 2 running, that's going to be a layer more specific. If all of our miles are here and we never touch anything faster, our running economy is going to get really good at zone 2 running, but it might not translate exactly over to our faster running. So while we're over here, we'll go through the 3 big benefits I see of going faster. And that's going to be getting more anaerobic capacity. So your ability to clear lactate, your ability to buffer hydrogen ions, the things that make running feel hard in the race when it gets real. You know, when you're 3/4 of the way into the race and you're saying, man, I don't know if I can hang on to this. That's what we're going to be building the ability to do, is clear those bad byproducts. And like I said over here, if we run more zone 2 running, we'll get more efficient running at that speed. When you run fast, you get more efficient running fast from a mechanical standpoint. You get a better cadence, a smoother cadence, you're more rhythmic. Your body's really good at organizing that movement. We just have to be able to take advantage of that task specificity by doing it. And the third thing is you build a mental callus. If you never touch anything hard, when you go into race day, you're out of your depth. You're saying, man, this is way faster than I'm used to going. As opposed to being good friends with this pain that's going to come along. If you visit it every week, 1 or 2 times per week, you become accustomed to sitting in that more difficult, kind of uncomfortable and painful position where you're asking your body to do something it doesn't necessarily want to do. And that might be one of the most important pieces of this. You get the physiological adaptation, but when you can know going in, when you expect it's going to be hard and you're comfortable with that, your ability to keep moving forward is tremendous. So to make all of this feel a little more real, let's meet my friend Moderate Bob. Moderate Bob runs 5 days a week, kind of hard. And he has fun with it, but he's decided he wants to run a really hard 10K. He wants to absolutely shatter his personal best. He can do one of two things, really. He can try and add more miles or run the miles he's currently running harder all the same throughout the week. Or he can try and get more specific in what he's doing. He can really put effort into 2 sessions and have all of the other miles we've talked about be in support of these 2 sessions. Now, what's that look like? It looks like having some running at goal pace over a longer distance than he is maybe used to. And it's having another session where he's maybe running faster than his goal pace. So his body starts adapting and saying, ooh, I know what this is. I am familiar with this pace. Now the 2 sessions, let's put some real examples with what they could be. So what I would tell Bob to do is I would have him do one longer run where we're maybe touching on some goal pace, and then a really quality session where we're maybe going faster than goal pace. So if he's running a 10K, we're maybe touching on 5K or even down to 1 mile race pace. So let's talk through that. For his long run, we'll warm up like normal, maybe get 2 or 3 miles of a warm up. Then we might do something like 4 by 1 kilometer at goal 10K pace. And then each week he can push that out a little bit further. So instead of 4, he does maybe 5 reps, then 6 reps, where he's doing a rep at goal pace and then 2 minutes of recovery. If he gets through that and he's still in a big training block, maybe we then go to mile repeats at 10K goal pace. So we're extending the amount of time that we're building that adaptation. So if we're 3 reps in to mile repeats, he's going to be building up a lot of this lactate. And then when we come down with those 2-minute rest intervals, you're clearing out that lactate and making that metabolic adaptation occur. Also, you're going to be getting more accustomed to what it feels like to be close to that red line. The benefit being, if you know what it feels like on race day, you're going to say, I've been here time and time again. We can keep pushing through. Or he learns, if he's ever had a workout where he went too hard, he says, oh, we're getting close to that line. We need to stick right where we're at so we don't go over that line and maybe blow up in our workout. I'd rather have a training session that doesn't go quite to plan and have to modify it than have a race where I'm unprepared mentally for where I need to be. If I'm guessing going into race day, I don't know if I'm perfectly happy with that. So how about the quality session? If we want to start touching on this really faster portion of our abilities, what's that look like? Again, a really good warm-up is super important. So maybe like 1.5 miles to 2.5 miles of warm-up, and then we do some really hard intervals with longer rest periods between. So let's call it an interval where we're going 20 seconds on, and then maybe 2.5 to 3 minutes of jogging between, where we're still moving, we're still accumulating volume, we're still getting some fatigue, and then seeing how our legs respond to getting up at that faster pace throughout a run. So we could modify this in 2 ways. We could say we're going to start with 6 by 20 seconds on, 2 minutes off, and then we could extend that out. We could do 8 reps, or we could do 12 reps, or we could change the duration that we're running at those faster paces. So you could look at something like, instead of 6 by 20 seconds, you could go 6 by 25 seconds faster. Keep the rest the same, where you're getting 2 to 3 minutes of rest, and then you go again. So usually I'm going to go up with reps first and then duration second. And those sessions are going to be really challenging. They're going to force adaptation, and you always want to be smart. If your body's not ready to go, I'd rather take that as a down day and have that down day be in support of the next workout. I've had plenty of workouts where I try and get into it. I know it's not there. I don't want to risk injuring anything. So I'll just turn it into an easier day and live to fight another day. I'm not saying that every time you have a workout scheduled, it has to be this banging hard workout. But if you're adapting well, you're recovering well between sessions, this is how you push your body to get faster. Now, I do want to end with a quick disclaimer. If you're running 70 miles a week and you're doing double thresholds or some other advanced methods, like, of course, this isn't necessarily going to be how you do things. You might have your higher intensity days, but you need a lot of total volume to get your adaptation. But I'm saying for most people out there, this is a really practical way to actually get faster. Most people don't have time to be running 70 miles a week, but they can get 2 hard sessions in, and their other runs can be in support of that. Also, if you're somebody who knows you're injury prone, build into it. So it doesn't have to be 2 sessions. That's just a nice framework to work on. But if you have 1 session that's hard throughout your week and you're able to hit that consistently and stay healthy, again, I'm super cool with that. Just make sure these runs don't kind of get harder throughout the week and start taking away from your 1 really good quality session. So most people don't have a lack of heart, or like they're not trying, they just don't have a real strategy in place to allow them to get faster. So keep building your meaningful chassis, keep building up those engines, marry them together, and you're going to be crushing your times before you know it. So if you want a complete guide of how I prep for my race week and my race day, take a look at this video here. I went through and documented everything I did to hit a new personal best in the half marathon. Check it out if it's helpful for you. I would love to see you guys subscribe to the channel and pop a like. Thanks so much. Bye.